My name is Mitch Williams, Coach Mitch. I'm a substance abuse clinician, been doing that for like 20 years, but I'm a coach as far as coaching. I'm a basketball coach, but for the last few years I've been a boxing trainer and coach as well, so that's what I do. I grew up in the Bronx. I grew up in the Northeast Bronx, working class neighborhood, people working hard and all that, but it's rough there still at the same time. It's still the Bronx, so that's where I grew up till I was about 18 years old. Then around that time, I moved down south, was living in Virginia, lived in DC for a little while, then in Atlanta. My relationship with my family was, all right, it's a little bit choppy. You know, my parents, they were substance users or whatever, so I was raised by my grandmother and my grandfather. My moms was never around. My pops would come around like every few years and all that, so, you know, that relationship wasn't all like that. You know, it got better once I got grown or whatever. My grandfather, you know, he died when I was like 10, you know, so that messed me up a lot or whatever. But my grandmom's, she was a rock, you know, solid. You gotta keep in mind the 80s. The 80s was a different time. The 80s was like the crack era, so we don't have no money like that, and then the crack era's around there, so then I start making poor choices. Me making poor choices made me go to the left and get into some trouble. In my young, as far as the teenage years, dropped out of school, just going left, making poor choices, and having to deal with the consequences from the poor choices that I made. Due to those poor choices, I ended up incarcerated for 5 years. I look at that time actually was good time because it was able for me to kind of get my mind right, you know, get my spirit right. I got into a relationship with God, you know, I'm a Christian, and it started changing my mindset, changing my spirit to try to change my life around. It was needed, you know what I'm saying, to get away from the streets and the alcohol, and I was smoking weed, and just the choices I was making was just, you know, just living a life of hopelessness and despair. And then I got into a life of being hopeful and doing the right thing. Once I came home, life was different. Like I said, when I was coming home, I came home with a different mindset, a different spirit, focused on doing the right thing and trying to make a change, really trying to keep kids or young adults from going the way that I went. I found employment. That's when I started doing the substance abuse thing right immediately, and been doing it ever since. And then with the skills I had, as far as because when I was young, played basketball, I was always able to box. My grandfather showed me how to box from when I was like 10 years old. So these are the skills that I had. So 845 Elite, it was something with me and my sister that we came about. It was like, we seen like it was expensive, like to put our kids into like basketball program, it was expensive. And you know, I'm a father of 6. So I have 3 boys. So I was like, okay, so I already knew the tournaments and different things like that because I played in tournaments when I was a kid. So I kind of know how that format worked. My sister as well. So we was like, we're just gonna come up with our own program, which was 845 Elite, because we definitely wanted to represent the 845 Elite area. So we started with 1 basketball team, then it grew to about 10 teams. We have 5 girls teams, 5 boys teams. So we was just doing the 845 Elite basketball. But then what happened was, like with me teaching my kids, you know, how to box and stuff like that, boxing training, my sons went away to school, so my daughter was still there. My daughter, she was 13 at the time. So I was like, all right, you're going to train. I want to teach you the boxing skills so you can defend yourself, stay focused. And she liked it. She really enjoyed it. And I see how it changed her attitude. I seen how it gave her confidence. I seen how it made her even more disciplined and just more the self-esteem and her self-worth. So that's when I was like, all right, so let me start doing 845 Elite boxing. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, let me show these kids how to defend themselves and the self-esteem part, the discipline part. So I'm gonna start embarking on that. So that's how that went with the 845 Elite. So when you're boxing, the most important thing is your foundation, is your stance. So you want a toe-heel stance, toe-heel stance. So that means your front toe is lined up with your back heel. Also, you gotta have your hands up. So we start with our hands down just like this, then we put them up right here. My right hand is right on my cheek. My left hand is about 6 inches in front of my face. My opponent, I keep my toe faced at his nose, as well as my shoulder faced at his nose. Not giving him nothing square, giving him a hard angle for him to see me. Now, My first punch is the 1. So when I throw that 1, I twist my thumb down so that I'm covered. My cheek is covered. Because with boxing, it's offense and defense at the same time. So I throw this 1, and I bring it straight back. Straight back when I throw that 1. My next punch is a 2. Same mechanics. I twist my thumb down when I throw that 2, so I'm covered here, and I'm also covered right here. Right, then I bring it right back. So I throw that 2, bring it right back. 2, bring it right back. Now also, boxing is offense, is defense. So we got slips, slip in here, then I got shield, shield. Somebody throws a hook, shield, shield. Somebody throws a straight punch, slip, slip. Now with that being said, when we put it all together, it's offense and defense. We have counter punches. So if I slip and throw a 3, slip, throw a 4, same thing. On my shield, throw a 3, shield, throw a 4, or shield, throw a 2. Just like that. So it's offense and defense at the same time. Nice. Tag the 3.
Shield 3, 2, 3.
Yep. Shield.
I'm Darylyn. I am a business owner in downtown Middletown. I own Fiercely Fit Nutrition, a smoothie shop. And that is how I met Mitchell. He was over here at the barber shop. I came over to support him, and then he came and supported me. We got to chatting, and he told me about his boxing. I've always wanted to try boxing, kickboxing, whatever. So when I met him, I was like, this is perfect. I started to train with Mitch in May of 2021, and I haven't stopped since. We started with 1 session a week. I was a super beginner. I had no idea what I was doing, how to properly throw a combination. I had no idea what a 1, 2, 3, or 4 was, but with consistent training with him, I've fallen in love with boxing. What it's done for me is just so much. I'm so strong upper body wise. So many people compliment me on my arms, and I'm like, it's really from boxing because we come every week. I practice on my own. The cardio aspect, oh my God. When I first started, I thought I was gonna die. And Mitch is just wonderful. He's not only my coach, but he's like a friend. He's like a best friend. When I have a child, I'm like, you're coming to boxing, you're gonna be Uncle Mitch. He's like family actually now. The relationship that you build, because it's so personal and small, is amazing. And I couldn't imagine my life without boxing now. I'm just eternally grateful to have met him and to have found KO Cardio. And I am locked in for life.
How you doing? My name is Freddie Williams. I'm here on behalf of my man Mitchell Williams, who I met, I want to go back maybe like 15 years ago, through the YMCA League, and basketball was a Sunday men's league, and just awesome energy, man, and we clicked, you know, we got to know each other, and come to find out we knew a lot of the same people. We had the same mindset as far as community and these kids. He was a coach, I was a coach, still currently coaches, and you know, we clicked, and from there we've done numerous things within the community as far as with the kids and community barbecues and school functions. So it's been amazing to you know, meet someone like Mitch with a similar mindset and goal and ambition as a community you know, member and leader.
Yeah, I love boxing as far as and how it applies to life. You know, the discipline that it takes. Like, you have to stay focused when you're doing boxing training, because you know, you got 3 different things going on at the same time: your head movement, your arm movement, and your feet movement. So you gotta stay focused, because you also have something coming at you and you have to return. You know, I have the motto of being in shape is being prepared. So it's just being prepared for anything that happens in life, and that's spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. Boxing is your legs, your core, your upper body, you know, as far as hand-eye coordination. So it helps out with all of these things. So it's just one of the things that I love, and see how it applies to my life and I see how it affects other people who I train. When we're in here, we get busy, we stay focused, we stay engaged, we stay in shape, and we stay prepared. So that's just how it applies, and I love it. Yeah, so understand this 845 Elite KO Cardio is not just about somebody who's just trying to get in the ring and fight at all. It's about just anybody who's just trying to learn discipline, trying to learn focus, and just trying to get a good workout in. Stress reliever and everything else like that. But anything I've done in my life, it couldn't have been possible without my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, my number one, my day one, my partner, my queen, my net, my big sis Storm, Team Williams. As always, being in shape is being prepared. KO Cardio, Coach Mitch, out.